Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, from Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, it's Monday, and you know what that means. It's time for another episode of the Raw Event Center. And now here's the man that will bring you all the wrestling action from Monday Night Raw, Mr. Eric M. Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans, 1977, episode number 2,355 of the show, and this is the final video for June of 2025. I already gave my Shenanigans statements of the statesman. I want to thank, I want to give a shout out to Skullduggery. As you know, he's going to be leaving YouTube for a while because he is recently going to get married and move on with his brand new life and everything else. So I want to congratulate Skullduggery on that, and I want to thank him for his support on my YouTube channel. Is possibly the most improved channel, more episodes, more subscribers. You know, I'm just very proud that I get to this is like the most improved channel I've ever done. I know I started off in the basement, my humble beginnings back in 2011. We're talking about 14 years later. I'm up here doing my thing, and I know next year will be 15 years being here on YouTube. So that's a big deal, and I want to thank everyone for their support. And don't worry, I'm not going anywhere or anything like that. Like I said, just tomorrow and everything else like that, because I got more videos to do, and that's I just want to, you know, like I said, I want to give a shout out. So the second half of of June of 2025, I should say, will begin. And as you know, I'm really excited about what is going to happen here in June, and will happen in July. I'm totally stoked, totally pumped, and looking forward to it. Like I said, the Wednesday Festival is coming up, along with a lot of wrestling that's going to happen over the weekend. You have, this is crazy, you got Great American Bash, you got Saturday Night's Main Event, you got WWE, you got AEW All In. I'm not kidding you. AEW All In, that's happening too. It's nuts. It's totally nuts, totally insane, totally crazy, out of the mind thing. Whee! That's all I'm going to say on that matter. And believe me when I say this, it's going to be insane the first 2 weeks of July, because it's been insane. Like I said, it's been a crazy month in June. Let's kick it off. As you know, this is the fallout from Night of Champions. So we're moving on mostly to Evolution, and we are talking. And we're talking Rhea Ripley. Mommy, yeah, she says that the whole thing with Judgment Day hopefully is behind me, and I can move on. And what is next for Mommy? Sky comes out. It's like she knew what Ray is thinking. And so, she says when Rhea mentioned Evolution, Io comes out and she goes, "What is Evolution without the Women's World Champion?" So I'll tell you one thing about you and me, Evolution. Now, last time Evolution had Io did compete in Evolution. In fact, she was defeated by Storm back then, before she was timeless in AEW, for the Mae Young Classic back in 2018. So, but Io this time will enter Evolution as the Women's World Champion. Will she walk out with that title? And the match is going to happen. So there'll be a second title match happening at Evolution. The Women's World title on the line. Io Sky defending it against Rhea Ripley. As you know, the NXT Women's Championship will be up for grabs as JC Jane defends it against Jordan Grace. Already a couple of matches happening. Then Dominic Mysterio was talking to Finn Balor and JD McDonough before they go out to challenge the New Day for the tag titles. AJ Styles confronts Dominic Mysterio. Mysterio says, "He still can't touch me. Can't touch me. Doctor's remote. No, can't touch this. Can't touch this." And AJ Styles grabs his glasses and he thinks that Dominic Mysterio's BSing him and all that, but we shall soon see. And the men's World Tag Team titles are on the line as the New Day defends it against the Judgment Day team of Finn Balor and J.D. McDonough. And guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have new WWE World Tag Team Champions. That's right, the Judgment Day defeated the New Day. And someone walked out with a bad day, and that will be the New Day. Yep, Judgment Day ended up winning the tag team titles, and that means they got all the gold, man. Lara Valkyria confronts Bayley and says, "I meant to apologize, but now we got." And both women start arguing. Adam Pearce goes, hold on, ladies. I'll tell you what, I'll make a match. Whoever wins that match will face Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental title. We'll have the next shot. And then Chad Gable talks to Ivy Nile, the Creeds. But then Adam Pearce interrupts him and says, "Hey, so you're injured, so that means we're not going to see El Grande Americano for a while." And he goes, "Well, you'll see him. You might see him. He's very busy, you know. But you never know." And then Adam Pearce talks to Nick Aldis about but then the Judgment Day interrupts him and asks him, "Hey, what do you think about, I know for the women's tag team titles, but what do you want us to do?" And they say, "You know what? They made a suggestion, Finn Balor made a suggestion, Roxanne Perez to fill in for Liv Morgan. So I'll tell you what." He goes, and Adam Pearce goes, "Okay, I'll tell you what. They can keep the titles on one condition. They defend them in a fatal four-way at Evolution against a Raw team, a SmackDown team, and an NXT team." So, it'll be very interesting to see how the general managers will go about this and how they decide which team would compete at Evolution. We'll find out for sure. Meanwhile, this was a banger of a matchup, or as I like to call it, a Big E special. Big meaty men slapping meat. Sheamus versus Rusev, former League of Nations stablemates, and Rusev won with an exposed turnbuckle and hit him with it, and that was it. Rusev made the pin. He beat Sheamus. Jackie Redmond interviews American Made, but then El Grande Americano walks by and looks, and he looks a little taller than Chad Gable, so I was like, okay. Chad Gable's recruited somebody else. I'm thinking it's Ludwig Kaiser, because he's been in the background a couple of times, so you never know. So, anyways, a lot of my games, I think there's lots of mind games going on with Chad Gable when it comes to a little bit of El Grande Americano. Meanwhile, Sami Zayn was trying to get ready for his tag match, teaming with Penta against the awesome team of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Karrion Kross, bitter that he lost to Sami Zayn, attacked him from behind. And then attendance, 3 players from the Pittsburgh Steelers were in there. Gunther comes out and addresses the Pittsburgh crowd about Bill Goldberg and how Goldberg says he hates bullies. He says, "I'm the biggest bully there is, though. And I'm going to push you around, bully you around, and I'll do it for more than 3 minutes. He wants to take his time." But then, as he says, "Who's next?" Seth Rollins comes out, interrupts, says, "Hey, I got the Money in the Bank briefcase. I can cash it in anytime I want. Let's see." And then he says he wanted to make sure that CM Punk does not walk out a world champion while he's in the company. And here comes CM Punk, interrupts and brawls with Rollins. Rollins decided to escape through the crowd. And as CM Punk is about to walk away, Gunther grabs him and CM Punk pushes him down to stay, keep your nose out of my business. But then LA Knight attacks Rollins, started brawling with him throughout the concourse and everything else. And then the Judgment Day celebrates winning the tag team titles. And now they got to vote and put in Roxanne Perez as a member of the Judgment Day. So Roxanne Perez is official member of the Judgment Day, and we're talking about tag team titles, women's tag team titles. And that means the Judgment Day has all the gold. They got both sets of tag team titles and the Intercontinental title. And Kairi Sane addresses all the women's champions that she's coming to take their gold. So Bayley and Lara Valkyria fought it out, and the match ended up with a double pin, and Jessica Carr, the referee, had to call it a draw. But they both brawled over the arena after the matchup. And then Jackie McMahon interviews CM Punk and says, Rollins is still mine. And LA Knight confronts him and says, hey, listen, as far as Seth Rollins is concerned, I know you got, he's mine, sitting in line. He said, hey, listen, I am the line. I got him in Saturday Night's Main Event. Then it was, Sami Zayn was just getting checked out, and Penta talks to him and asks him if he's okay. Sami Zayn says he's good to go. So they had the match Penta and Sami Zayn versus the team of Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Heck of a matchup. Before the matchup, Paul Heyman did pep talk to Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker just play our music. And then Paul Heyman got involved during the matchup, and Breaker and Reed ended up winning, but then he decided to attack Sami Zayn and Penta after the matchup, but then Jey Uso arrives with a chair and hits Breaker with it. But then Uso brawls with Bronson Reed with the chair in hand. So that's the way it is here. So, final day of June 2025. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Red Sox ended up beating the Reds 13-5. Willie Abreu with 2 homers in the game. One inside the park, the other conventional grand slam. So, have yourself a day, Willie Abreu. So, thank you for tuning in to the show, episode 2355. I will come back tomorrow, first day of July, with brand new episodes. Starting in July, folks. So I will see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful, blessed day. And until the next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home. That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and do it for Bob Saget production. And in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.